everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39 Mini Albums. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the cover for this Charlotte and Friends mini album. Now this mini album measures 9 by 7 with a 3-inch spine. I used the lay flat cover method designed by Tamara from Country Craft Creations. If you would like to make your own mini album and you don't want to use the tutorial with the Charlottes and Friends paper, you can start here. It's a great tutorial on how to make an album cover. If you want to make this album, then I suggest making the cover, and then the next video in the playlist will show you how to make the features in it. So without further ado, let's get started and make the album cover. Hi everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39 Mini Album. I am going to show you how I cover my mini albums. This method was designed by Tamara from Country Craft Creations, and I use her method. For the most part, I add my own touches. So let me show you first the materials that I use, and then I'll show you how to cover it. This one measures 9 by 7 with a 3-inch spine. I'll be using this in an upcoming project, so if you're interested, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, and hit the bell for notifications so you see when I complete the project using this album cover. Let me show you what we need to get started. And here are the tools that I use. So first of all, I use scissors, long bladed scissors. I use other ones too. These are my bone folders. These are non-stick bone folders. This one is sort of like a pencil bone folder. I'll use it to score. You also can use it to burnish, but this is my favorite one. This is a Dress Your Craft bone folder. It's non-stick. It's got that blunt point to it. It's got a beveled edge on the other side, and it's a good sturdy bone folder. Also, we'll keep my ruler handy. And then I use these spacers. These are available from Country Craft Creation. This is the 1.5-inch one, and I also have 2 that are 1 inch wide. I'll show you how to use those in just a little bit. So you'll need those 3, or you can use a piece of chipboard, or you can just eyeball it. So the adhesives I generally will use some score tape. I also could use the red line tape that's available from Country Craft Creations. Both of these are 1/4 inch. The score tape you can just tear. The red line tape you do need to use the scissors. And I'll use score tape sheets as well. For a liquid adhesive, I use the Designer Dries Clear Glue from the Art Glitter Company. I will refer to it as Art Glitter Glue. I pour it into this plastic container, and I made this little holder for it a while ago. There's a tutorial on my website on how I made the glue holder. For the cardstock, I'll be using the Artisan Linen Cardstock in Natural Color from Country Craft Creations. I also will use my scoreboard. I have 2 pieces of chipboard that are 9 inches by 7. That's the size of our album. And I have 1 piece that is 9 by 3. That's going to be the size of the spine. It's a little larger than what I normally make, but it's going to be a fun book. Now, to cover this, I will need a piece of cardstock that is 2 inches bigger, top and bottom and side to side, 1 inch around all 4 sides. So therefore I have a piece that's cut 11 by 7. I am using the Artisan cardstock in the natural color from Country Craft Creations. I'm going to lay this on my scoreboard just because it's nice and straight. And I'm going to pull out my spacers from Country Craft Creations. You can get these. They're acrylic spacers. They're 12 inches long, and they're in the set of 3, 1.5 and 2 that are 1 inch. For the cover, we're going to use the 2 that are 1 inch. So I've already backed my chipboard with score tape. You know, you can use liquid adhesive if you want. The reason I use score tape is because it doesn't bubble up. It gives me a nice flat cover. Then I don't have to worry about things bubbling up over time. So I've got it all covered. And I have my cardstock moved over to the side and up to the top, and my spacers to the side and to the top. So I'll take my chipboard and go right up to this corner, this top corner here, push it against the side, get up to the top, and then lay it down. So when I remove my spacers, you see there is an even border all around. What I'll do is take my bone folder and turn it over and burnish real well to make sure that score tape has no air bubbles. Then I'll take my bone folder, and I have this, the beveled edge, and I'm going to go along the side. Just to find where the edge is. I also can turn it over, take my bone folder, and just take the point of it and go along the edge of the chipboard so it'll fold easy. I'll use my surface and push down and burnish, including the sides. Make sure I get a good crisp fold on the side. So I'll do that to the sides, then I'll open it up, burnish there, and burnish there. All right, now I'll take some scissors and I will cut all 4 of the squares off of the corner. So just go follow your score lines and just cut off all the squares. Now this method was designed by Tamara Merrill from Country Craft Creations. It is the lay flat cover method. It gives you a really nice looking cover. And I'll use this method most of the time. Sometimes I go and use a different method, but I seem to always go back to this one. All right, so I have all 4 squares cut out. And then I'll take a larger pair of scissors. I call my long blade scissors. And what I want to do is make sure there's no overhang when we fold everything down. So to do that, I'm going to take this one side and fold it in. I'll hold it down at the bottom, or I'll hold it at the top. So I'll take the top blade of my scissors, put it against the chipboard, and then I will cut. What that does is cut off any overhang. See how it sort of beveled itself? But by putting your scissors against the edge, you're not going to cut off more than you need to. So I'll go around all 4 sides with the chipboard facing down. And then I'll turn it over and do all 4 sides with the chipboard facing up. So we get both sides of the 1-inch tab. Okay, so you see not much came off of it, just a little bit. Okay, now you could do a couple of different things. You could take your score tape and you could lay it at the top of your 1-inch tab and also on the edge of your chipboard. You could also just put it at the top of your 1-inch tab and not put it on the chipboard. You could put it just on the chipboard and not at the top of the tab. And then this one we're going to leave plain. And I will show you the different ways that you can cover. All right, I'm going to take my liquid adhesive, my art glitter glue. So that'll hold my pin so I don't lose it. And I'm going to take it and run it at the edge of my chipboard. I'll also go up and across and then zigzag. Then I'm going to take the beveled edge of my bone folder and push right up against the chipboard, and you'll see the glue sort of seeps out a little bit. Before I put that down, I need to remove the tape. All right up there. Then I take my fingers and pull it, go against the edge, and burnish. So I'm just going to burnish and distribute the glue. And if any seeps out, just go ahead and clean it up. All right, now this one has the one piece of adhesive on the chipboard. I'm still going to use the glue, go against the edge, and I'll go to the top, and I'll just put glue at the top because I don't need to put glue on top of where the score tape is. So I'll burnish right against the edge, hold it down, and there we go. So that stays nice because we've got the one piece of score tape. So here is score tape on the top. I'll pull this one off. And that too. This one has the score tape on the paper on the tab, but still, I like to put the glue right along the edge, and then I'll zigzag it. Now, usually I'll do the two long sides and then the two short sides, but just because I've doing an experiment with the score tape, I'm just going to go in order. And then here we have score tape on the chipboard and on the tab. So I will put glue here along the edge and then just a little bit here. Whoops, I don't need any there because we've got the score tape. And pull that over. So the question is, which has the better hold? To be honest, I can't tell the difference. When I don't use the score tape on the chipboard, the reason I don't is because I figure you're going to put enough paper here that's eventually going to cover everything, you know? You put paper here, you'll glue it. This is not going to go anywhere. Does it have a crisper edge? It's up to you. So those are 4 different ways of using score tape and adhesive to cover your chipboard. So I'm going to cover the other 9x7 piece, and then I'll come back and then we'll do the spine piece. Okay, now we're going to cover the spine. So our spine is 9x3. To cover it, we need 1 inch on the top and bottom. So we have an 11-inch tall piece of cardstock. And then we want 1.5 inches on each side. So add 3 to the number. So instead of 9x3, we're going to have an 11x6 piece of cardstock. I'm going to put that on my scoreboard, and I'm going to use an 1.5 inch spacer on the side and a 1 inch at the top. I'm going to peel off my backing. If you notice, there was some cardstock on here. I was using this for something else, and it won't harm anything because it's been peeled off. It's just a couple of layers of cardstock, or it's what's left of layers of cardstock. All right, I'm going to push that against the side and to the top, and there we have a wider border on the sides than we have on the top. Now we're not going to do this exactly the same as how we did the covers. I will fold and burnish, and I'll fold top and bottom and burnish as well. And then I'll go ahead and gonna do a trick I saw Michelle Allen from a creative operation, how she did hers. So she takes and puts glue down and then pushes this down so there's a gap here. And I sort of like that, so I'm going to do that. So put glue at the top half here. I go against the chipboard. I'll burnish it right against the chipboard and fold this down. And then I'll take my bone folder and push this so I get a good crease, so I know that my cardstock is right up against the edge of the chipboard. And then I'll burnish here. And you can see there's a slight angle to our paper, which is enough that you won't see it. So I thought that was genius and decided I'm going to try it. So I've tried it a couple of times and I like it. So even though I have my own methods, you can teach a old dog new tricks. I do watch other people's tutorials, and if I'm following along, like if I'm going to make their project, I do it exactly the same as they do because I might learn something. So even though I have my own methods of covering mini albums, I might just do it exactly how they do and come up with a method that's better than how I do it. So I'm just going to make sure we have that going right there. All right, and so there is how I cover my spine. Now I am going to varnish this on the top. And I'm going to take score tape and I'm going to put some down about a ½ inch away from the edge of the chipboard and not all the way to the edge of the cardstock. I don't want any of it to show. And I'll put some more there. So I'll have 2 rows of score tape. Now burnish that real well. Now grab your scoreboard again. So I'm going to peel this off. And I'll add some glue here. And I am going to put a little bit here, but I'm staying easily a ½ inch away from the edge here. You don't want to have it seep too close. That's when I find people have problems with cracking. All right, so I'll take that, put it up against the top and the side, and I'll pull this over, and I'll put it just a hair away maybe a 1/16 of an inch away, so there's a little bit of a gap between these pieces. Once it looks even, I'll burnish. And then I will remove the score tape from this one. And do the same thing. Add glue and stay 1/4 of an inch away. Now, some people don't add glue to this piece. I mean, they'll add glue here, but not here. I don't think Michelle does. But I just like that extra security. So I'm going to push this up to the edge and do the same with this. Have a little bit of a gap between these two pieces. And then I'll turn it over and burnish. All right. And there we have a very pretty cover. All right, and after letting this dry, here is our book. It's got really pretty corners on the front against the spine. Looks very nice, nice and crisp and clean. And the other thing is, it is a little bit flimsy. So what I'm going to do is cover this. So I have a piece of cardstock that is 6 by 9. To cover this, I'm going to add glue, usually more glue than I normally use in other parts of the project, because I want to make sure this has a good amount of adhesive. It doesn't have to be really thick, but I want to have good coverage here because we're going to put the spine on top of our cardstock, or our hinge on top of our cardstock. So I'm going to take off the top of my glue bottle. Just so I can get more glue down and just get it done. So what I'm going to do is add glue here. So you get much more glue. I'm not going to go to the edge because I will go around the perimeter. I'll stay about 1/4 of an inch away. I'll add some adhesive here and here, and then I'll just grab a piece of chipboard and distribute it. I don't have to put it right there. And then I'll take my cardstock and put it down right to the edge, top and bottom. That looks good. And I'll burnish with my bone folder. Obviously, some glue is seeping out, so I'll clean it up so we don't have a mess. And just work and burnish it real well. I'll take my bone folder with the blunt edge and go in that crevice between where the spine and the cover is. And I'm going to let it dry before I work on it anymore. But that is all I need to do to make my cover, to get it ready for the spine or the hinge or the pages or whatever else you're going to do. Now, there are other videos in the series. You can go ahead and look in the description box for the links to those videos, or just stop here and use the cover to design your own mini album. So thanks for watching. If you want to see the next video, go ahead and check out the playlist, and it should bring you to the next video in this series. Thanks so much for watching, and have a fabulous day.